Hi folks, Joey Ricard with TracksideScenery.com. Welcome back. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but we're ready to start work on this new layout. That's right, a new layout. And although I didn't go into a lot of detail about the layout itself, construction actually began in our last video. That video was called World's Lightest Helix, or World's Lightest Helix question mark, depending on which way you look at it. In that video, I demonstrated how I built two lightweight helices. Each helix will sit at opposite ends of the layout and tie everything together. Just having them on the layout will give a lot of extra operating potential. Here you can see how the helix sits on its wooden frame. It's very simple. So basically, to get this thing started, I'm just taking both helices and separating them a certain distance apart. Now this distance will dictate the overall length of the layout, and it's just a matter of filling in the space between them. Well, I have a long list of things I wish I could have on a layout, but you know, space considerations and all that. For now, to make things easy, let's just call this a double-decker continuous run extra advantage shelf layout. Okay, this is what I came up with, and I'm going to try to cram as much into it as I can. Alright, 20 plus feet long, 60 inches wide at the helices, 30 inches wide in the middle. Here you see what that shape looks like from a distance. And this view simulates the layout versus the real room size. And by the way, I'm using a licensed version of Scarm, which is Simple Computer Aided Railway Modeler. No wonder they call it Scarm, but it's a great program and you can find it online. With this being a double-decker, I wanted to make sure there's enough room between the decks to support accessories, handling of equipment, emergencies, and that sort of thing. Now that might answer any question you had from the last video about the height of each helix. If it were just a matter of adding a continuous run without anything of interest happening on the lower deck, I probably wouldn't have made the helices as tall as they are. But as you can see, I have a lot in mind for that lower deck. Or at least just enough to make it more interesting. Now keep in mind that this video only covers what's happening on the lower deck. Here you can see the main line and siding and how they appear and disappear into each helix. In red, we see storage tracks 1 and 2. These are going to be stub-ended storage tracks that actually work to an off-layout connection at the far left. This will give us the ability to add a removable car cassette for loading and unloading of rolling stock. Moving down in blue, you'll see storage track number 3 and then the runner, or runaround if you want to call it. This also has an off-layout connection. And then of course, engine storage tracks and a turntable. A must for those with steam air locomotives like myself, a great way to turn them and park them. Sure, I could have gone in many other directions, added this, changed that, etc., etc., but I'm keeping it fairly simple, right? I'll tell you, this lower deck is really a bonus for me, and it's nice to have the ability to have some operations and some storage in what would have otherwise been a standard shelf layout. Well, with all that and a bag of donuts, I started on a new control panel for the lower deck. This is the artwork for that lower deck control panel. As always, we'll be using touch toggles by Berrett Trains. I know this video isn't that long, but we've come this far and you've seen nothing real. Okay, so I like to use computer animations, but it's always a pleasure for me to take what can be and turn it into what is. Now, in case you're wondering and can't tell, that's a Walthers 90-foot turntable with controller. Once we get further along, I'll integrate that into the fascia or make some sort of contraption. All track on the layout is Atlas Code 83. The turnouts thus far are a mix of Atlas Code 83 and Walthers Shinohara. I had some metal finish acrylic laying around, so I cut this little plate out for the Walthers turntable controller. The turnout control frame you see here is one that we used on another layout, and it's just temporary. As a matter of fact, the poor little thing has been abused and dropped, so you see a bunch of tape on it. But it works like a charm, as you can see. No doubt, it's always fun to start a new layout. Honestly, I can't wait to do some more in-depth videos once we get on the top deck. You know I love doing scenery. Now, I know I didn't mention this before now because I wanted to keep it as a surprise, but what I didn't tell you is that this whole thing is mounted on wheels and it moves. Yep, in and out, left and right, back and forth. It's that simple. It's taken up a lot of valuable real estate in the shop and it has to be able to move. It works out great for easy access. Be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and share the hobby. This is Joey Ricard with TracksideScenery.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.